I'd like to introduce Dr. Carmen Krapf. Carmen is a principal geologist with the Geological Survey of South Australia and is also currently acting as the manager of the Resources and Commodities team, where she is leading the Critical Minerals Project for South Australia. With over 25 years' experience in academia and government, Carmen is also a passionate and engaging advocate for educating the next generation of geoscientists. Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, we're just changing gear and let's get critical. So the following talks after mine will be actually giving you an update on what's going on in the Critical Minerals Project in South Australia. And I'll give you just today a quick overview, who's involved and what we're doing. So you can't do these big projects without a team, and I've got an excellent team behind me from the GSSA. I don't list the individual people you know who help me every day get this project up and running, and also a liaison with the University of Adelaide, the MeWatch team from the University of Queensland, GA, and then also other people in DEM. And some of those from our team will hear today a bit more about what we're doing. But generally, critical minerals is a hot topic. This year, you couldn't actually avoid a week without a critical mineral conference in Australia. So people like Carl Spendler has been on tour throughout all the time, like myself most probably too. In South Australia, we know that we have critical minerals, and we have actually quite a rich endowment. And how do we know that? From our mineral deposit database. So out of the 26 critical minerals listed on the Australia's critical mineral list, we have definitely 19 of them known in deposits and occurrences throughout the state. So this is great, but is this enough to actually get the exploration community excited? And also, is that the pre-competitive data that we really need to get critical mineral projects off the ground? Our minister announced also quite boldly, and that's why we love him for, that in South Australia, we should actually add copper onto the list too. So in this case, out of the new 27 critical minerals lists of South Australia, we've got 20. But it's also actually a good thing to do because copper is associated with lots of other critical minerals like nickel and cobalt. So by looking at revisiting old copper deposits, we actually will hopefully find more critical mineral endowment throughout the state, and by so actually really extend our search space. So what is the Critical Minerals South Australia project? It's compiled of 5 pillars. We're focusing on 5 big topics, and I'll just quickly run you through those. So the first one is really a stock take of South Australia's critical mineral prospectivity. And this is reviewing and identifying our key mineralization styles for the critical minerals, mapping the existing critical mineral occurrences across the state, and identifying regions with significant geological potential. We summarize that in these report books, which soon will be coming out one at a time. But generally, we want to really increase the industry investor understanding of South Australia's critical mineral potential by that. I want to show you an example of one of these summaries we're doing currently throughout the state for graphite, a huge potential critical mineral for South Australia. This one has been dominantly compiled by Alicia Caruso, where we're really focusing on not just where the deposits are, but relating them back to the mineral system to actually have really a better understanding of the connection of the critical mineral occurrence to the actual geology. What's the geological endowment behind why it is there and where we can find it. We provide these summaries in form of maps, but also of combined data sheets in Excel form that can be actually extracted out of this report, and provide new prospectivity maps to increase the search space for, in this case, graphite. The second big block, or kind of sub-project for the Critical Mineral Project is reassessing South Australia's deposits for untapped critical mineral potential. So that's kind of a bit like overlapping with the first project. But here we really want to create new pre-competitive geoscience data, and that's what the Geological Survey is well known for, that we do that really well. And we do that by resampling and reanalyzing existing drill core from Tonsley. And we're focusing there really on known deposits that are in our state's project pipeline, and trying to identify out of those known deposits which have high potential for critical minerals. We also then have, as part of this sub-project, project focusing on rare earths, and we'll hear about that from Diana after my talk, and lithium, which we hear from Jared about. We also have a project on carbonatites, so Mitchell Bockman, who's our chair, session chair, he's looking in that in more detail. And we have Georgina and Tim looking at unraveling South Australia's pegmatites by hyperspectral imaging. And Alicia took on a review on the critical mineral prospectivity of the Eastern Musgrave. So lots of sub-projects going on, and hopefully next year we'll actually have most probably 2 sessions of critical minerals just showcasing those. An example, a shout out is of reviewing old deposits is the Mount Gunson project that Mireia Terrones undertook recently, and the poster is out in the foyer. I just leave it up to you to catch up with her and talk her through, and she will talk you through her recent findings. Another big sub-project we are really pushing with part of the critical mineral project here is examining features of secondary potential, and this is the mine waste. We teamed up with the team from MeWatch, from the Sustainable Minerals Institute from the University of Queensland, and also Geoscience Australia. And we really focus on identifying and ranking our potential of South Australia's historical mine waste sites based on publicly accessible data. This has been compiled. I think we are the only state really that took this approach. We really reviewed our 8,000 mine waste sites, ranked them based on potential like size, the commodity, access, how long they have been in production or have been abandoned, and compiled that in form of a report book. But also as part of our project, we want to provide data in a new and more innovative way, and Christy already mentioned that in her talk this morning, that we developed these new dashboards. And this is actually quite exciting because often with ZERIC, lots of this information is already there, but these dashboards, they take you straight away to the topic you're interested in. So if you're interested in mine waste, you have it all in one place, linked back to the original databases like MINDEP, but also give you straight away a great view of the actual mine site. So especially with the mine waste ranking dashboard, it's really exciting to use because you click on a site and you straight away are flown there spatially and see actually how this site looks like. We've also been quite active, mainly driven by Laura Jackson from MeWatch, sampling sites at Brukanga, Port Pirie and Mount Gunson, and also shout out, there's a poster from Lena Tobin, who's been doing an honours project on Mount Gunson. So there's more information available there too. The fourth pillar of the critical mineral project is the economic study of South Australia's critical mineral value chain. We actually know that there's quite a lot of critical mineral deposits and potential out there, but it's not just the geology that's important, it's also the downstream factor to bring these deposits into production. And we teamed up with the South Australian Centre for Economic Studies to actually understand more the whole value chain across South Australia, to actually bring projects in the critical mineral space forward and make them really, in some case, really a nation-leading project. As part of these studies, which are hopefully hopefully be able to release in early January, includes a focused analysis on cobalt, magnesium, graphite, manganese, rare earth, and HPA. These were the 5 critical minerals that's been really highlighted by this study as the biggest potential for South Australia. And then to finish off is, we create all this new data, we collect all this new data, and of course they will be all added to our database and will be available via ZERIC. But we're also moving into creating these new dashboards where you can easily and thematically search for the new data a bit more efficiently and directly, and also having this investor focus quite strongly by providing straight away reserve and resource data for individual projects. So if you have a chance, try out the dashboard, it's really exciting. You will see at the moment we only have 10 critical minerals on there. This is the first rollout. In the second one we'll include the other 17, including copper. Actually we have a copper already on. So there's a new way of actually accessing this data, and these will be developed over time and make much more user-friendly throughout the rollout. Okay, and then based on that, I'm now happy to pass on to my colleague Diana for her talk on the rare earth. Thank you.